Decision making styles. Have you ever paid attention to your decision making style? Have you ever thought about how you decide? Making decisions is challenging, and there are no lessons on decision making in our education system. Many of the decisions we make have serious consequences. Whether you realize it or not, you always make decisions without knowing your default style. Imagine a sports person not aware of their playing style. How can they improvise in the field and have a competitive edge? Today, I will help you examine the pros and cons of two major decision making styles. This video aims to raise your awareness of your default decision making approach and how you can improvise to play better in the decision making playing field. It's full of advice and inspiration. Hi, I'm SARIT TAGORE. My channel is all about providing you with tools and techniques for optimal living and continuous self improvement. Welcome to another episode. As always, let's start with a quote. The art of war, strategy without tactics, is the slowest route to victory. Tactics without strategy is the noise before the defeat. Here is an example of two characters I have worked with in the past that displayed two distinct decision making styles in action. For privacy, let's say their names are Tom and Harry. I learned a lot from observing them, and I will share those observations with you to improve your decision making process. How does that sound? Time and consequences considerably impact the decision making style, decision making process, and the decision. Tom is agile and makes immediate decisions, whereas Harry is longanimous, that is, enduring under trying circumstances with even temper and assumes a reflective form of decision making. Harry trusts patient reflection as a virtue. When it comes to making choices, Tom considers quick decisions a virtue. He has the advice of Benjamin Franklin stuck on his workstation: time is money. His approach is systematic and linear, and Harry's approach is holistic and non-linear. They display two stark distinctions in decision making as if they have a monopoly on their respective styles. The two approaches stand out along several dimensions. The greatest strength of Tom's approach is that he gets the job done. He is highly effective in dealing with crises and emergencies. He prevents delays and indecision that can lead to lost opportunities. According to Tom, the digital age opportunity frame is very narrow. Tom draws his victory from speed and firmly believes that we live in times where the fast will eat the slow, not the big eating the small. Haste makes waste. At the same time, Tom's decision making approach has congenital weaknesses. He often finds himself dealing with the results of hastily and misinformed decisions. His fast choices often result in suboptimal outcomes. They lack a long term view, and the assessment of the consequences is generally deficient. He often suffers from myopic vision, a barrier to sound decision making. Because he is always on the go, his overconfidence initially helps him to focus, but soon leads to unproductive coping strategies. His focus on speed increases his stress levels, and if you analyze how many of his fast and furious decisions proved profitable, it leaves a lot to be desired. While high emotions help Tom to be more focused, they also unhinge him from looking at the long term consequences of his choices. One major shortcoming of Tom is that he does not realize the strategic use of patience. His approach often results in poor decisions when viewed after some time. Harry's approach is reflective decision making style. His philosophy values reflection. Unlike Tom, he espouses the wisdom of Sun Tzu, the art of war. Strategy without tactics is the slowest route to victory. Tactics without strategy is the noise before the defeat. His approach to patient decision making is more detached with a long term focus. He unites intuition with logic. Harry closely links reflection to knowledge, therefore, he is very thorough about what actions to take today to harvest the profits in the future. Let's look at the force and weaknesses of Harry's decision making style now. His decision making process is complex and time consuming because it requires the ability to visualize the big picture. Harry believes that if done in good order, the reflective decision making style may start gingerly but often leads to better outcomes. He can forfeit short term results for higher long term payoffs with a detached and emotionless frame of mind. Like all things, his decision making style does have soft spots. Perhaps the greatest weakness of Harry is that he takes time, sometimes a very long time. When speed is required, his approach is unacceptable. He often suffers from decision paralysis. Sometimes he can even miss the boat. Don't forget to watch my video on decision paralysis. It complements this video and further consolidates your understanding. You will find a link in the description. Therefore, if you dissect it critically, Tom's decisions have strategic liabilities because he often gets stuck fighting fires. Facing the unforeseen puts him in strategic disfavor since he has to think on his feet. Harry's decision making puts him in a situation where he cannot decide and miss the opportunity. Decision making has two important components: time and consequences. If you can learn to manage both, your decision making will undoubtedly improve. Easily said than done, I know. So the question arises, how can you merge both styles of decision making? Integrating these two approaches relative to your decision problem is an intelligent way forward. I call it the slow fast approach. As is true for most factors, patience in decision making has both advantages and disadvantages. If rehearsed sincerely and cautiously, I believe patient, reflective decision making can be done quickly. How can you master both styles? Here are some guidelines for my slow fast approach. The starting point is being aware of these two approaches available to you all the time. Integrate speed with reflection with any decision that has serious consequences for you. You are the best judge of how long to reflect before deciding and what reflection methods you want to adopt. One of the simplest ways is to get a second or third opinion on your decision. Most individuals do not look for invalidating data. Include others, able co-workers or friends in the decision-making process, someone you trust. Their suggestions may amaze you and save you much bother. When you feel time constraints, stay calm, make conscious efforts. I know it's not easy, and don't succumb to the temptation to act impulsively, which often results in errors. Always be aware of your feelings, stay calm, and avoid the negative aspect of the emotion in your decision-making process. The most challenging step is to maintain a stable emotional state of mind. People want to get rid of an uncomfortable situation and decide quickly to relieve themselves of the pressure. This can lead to hastily suboptimal decision. Crisis also results in myopia. When you are distressed to resolve a situation, you focus on short term problems and solutions. The focal point changes from immediate crisis without considering the long term repercussions. Whenever possible, take a step back and reflect on the long term consequences. With awareness and practice, you can do it. No style is better than the other. The time and consequences should influence your style, not your predisposition or your default decision making style. Don't decide without analyzing the consequences. When you learn the art of combining the quick and the reflective styles, your decision making will not be like any Tom, Dick, and Harry. Bad joke. Think about your decision making style now. Subscribe, like, and share this video. You will help your friend and me with a straightforward action. Thanks for your support. See you next time. Bye for now.